thanks for having me here, guys. And I'm quite excited to introduce you Valkea Resources. This is a new company. In fact, this is the first time I've ever introduced the project as Valkea Resources. We just completed a transaction to acquire a basket of really, really highly prospective gold properties in the central Lapland district of Finland. And have renamed the company Valkea Resources just this week. We're currently halted because we just finished our transaction and raised $5 million last week. We should start trading later this week, Thursday or Friday. Just waiting to hear from the TSX as to when we'll start trading. We will be trading under the symbol OZ or OZ. So think about ounces of gold in Finland here. So. I will be making some forward-looking statements, so please read this if you are going to make an investment. So what are we acquiring? As mentioned, Valkea is a new company. Previously we were Outback Goldfields. We were focused on projects in Australia. This is a full pivot for us. Our entire focus now is going to be in Finland, where we've acquired from S2 Resources several properties that we own 100%. Including the Paana Project, which has an existing discovery on it at Aarnivalkea, hence the name Valkea. Aarnivalkea roughly translates into flickering light over buried treasure. So we've got our main project, which is Paana. It also has two joint ventures that come with it, one with Kinross Gold and one with Rupert Resources. Both those companies are earning into projects that we have up to 70%. So it's an early stage gold exploration company with a lot of meat on the bones. The projects that we have some drill-ready targets that we hope to start drilling on in the next month or so, which I'll get into. The team, myself, I've been in this business for a long time before starting with Outback and now Valkea. I was with a company called Western Copper and Gold, which ran a very large copper gold project up in the Yukon in northern Canada. Brought in Rio Tinto as a partner there and then moved on to become CEO of this company. Our chairman is Craig Perry. Craig might be well known to some of you. He was a co-founder of ISO Energy and NextGen, both of which were junior companies like ours and now over $1 billion market caps. He was a founder of Visa Silver, which is well on its way to becoming $1 billion company, as well as Skeena Resources. Mark Bennett is coming on. It just came onto the board last week. He is the chairman of S2 Resources, PhD, Geo. His big success was with Sirius Resources, where he grew that company from a junior, sold it for $1.8 billion. So I have a very good technical backing behind me. I'm not a geologist, but I've got several geos behind us. Some key personnel of note is George Salamis. So George runs a company called Integra Resources, been involved in a couple of $1 billion worth of sales. Why it's important that he's come on as an advisor, and the plan is for him to come on the board here in the next few months, is that he ran a company called Reeder Hayden, and I'm not pronouncing that entirely properly, but he ran Reeder Hayden, which is now the Kittila Mine. So he ran that project from 1999 to 2006 and sold it to Agnico Eagle. And he recognized that our projects have a lot of similarities of what he had when he started that project as well. He knows the area, he knows the rocks, and he built it up and was able to sell it. Our projects are contiguous with the Kittila Mine, which is owned by Agnico Eagle and is Europe's largest gold producer. So good team behind us. As mentioned, we've just changed names and restructured. We've got a very tight share structure, about 32 million shares out. When we start trading, we should have an assumed market cap of about $13 million Canadian. We just raised $5 million. The terms of the transaction were that we acquired the properties for $7 million in total consideration. Of that, $1.5 million in cash and $5.5 million in shares. So S2 is definitely not giving these properties away, and they're going to remain almost a 40% shareholder of us going forward. 40% are new investors that just came in. We've got 10% insider ownership, and then about 5% from some funds that came in on the financing. So, we'll start trading this week. It's been interesting to see what's happened with Moss in Finland and their IPO the last month or so, and other companies, Rupert and Orion, both financing over the summer and both having tremendous success as well. So I'm excited to see what happens out of the gate with our share price. So here's a snapshot of the properties that we have. This is the central Lapland district, as you see, northern Finland. Everything in red is what we are acquiring. Of course, the whole area is anchored by the Kittila Mine. Kittila is owned by Agnico, which is everything you see in baby blue. Our main project is the Paana Project, which has the Aarnivalkea discovery, almost 7 meters at 12 grams and 20 meters at 4 grams. That's what we're most excited about. So you've got Agnico on one side. In gold there is actually Kinross gold. And then you go down, so Rova at the top, Paana, Rural Pass, and this Putin Para, we all own 100%. And then you've got 2 joint ventures, Kinross Gold and Rupert Resources as well. So it's a full package that we have. This whole area, the geology is such that it's all covered by till. So the drilling, the process is that you do your mag, and then you do shallow drilling, and then deeper drilling on that. So there's only been 13,000 meters of drilling across our portfolio, but we've already had 300-gram meter hits, so very successful to date. We've got a discovery that was made in 2020. Unfortunately, they cut that short. We're fortunate for us that they cut that short because of COVID and didn't follow up on what they had. So we're really going to continue on that discovery that they had in the drilling here in the coming months and see what we have. Of course, the big success story over the last 4 years has been Rupert with their Akari discovery. They made that in 2020, around the same time that S2 had made the Paana discovery. They were able to get to a resource within 2 years. Now they're almost $1 billion company as well. So Rupert and our 2 joint ventures are focused on the dotted line that you see there, which is the Circus Shear that runs east-west. We're focused on our Paana project on the Musa Shear, which run north-south. There's also the Kittila Shear, which goes up through the Kittila Mine and through our Rova project. I've been working on this deal for almost 2 years, and while the market's a lot better now and we're seeing gold price up, 2 years ago it was very difficult in the junior mining space. But this area is becoming globally significant for gold. It's attracted investment, and you're seeing M&A in the area. In fact, the biggest takeaway for us is the concentration of majors to how few juniors are there. You've got B2 Gold with Orion down on the Circus Shear. You've got Kinross, and of course you've got Agnico, and then there's really only 3 juniors: Orion Resources, Valkea now, and then a small company called Firefox as well. The reason S2 went into the area was they looked at greenstone belts around the world. Greenstone belts are very fertile rocks and house large discoveries. And this area has really only been explored for about the last 25 years. The analogy is often made that this is like the Abitibi in Canada, but 100 years ago. And you can see by the distribution that really there's only been the Kittila deposit and Akari, and now we're starting to see more come out as money's being spent, and we should get a distribution similar to the others that you see around the world. We like Finland for a lot of reasons. Great infrastructure, they're mining friendly. You can drill virtually all year round. In fact, most of the drilling that's been done on the property has been in the winter. So if we focus on the Paana project, it's in an area that is set aside and it is forested area. There's active forestry, so there's logging roads right to site. You see, I talked about the process of drilling there. The baby blue dots that you see, that's all the shallow drilling. There's been about 2,000 holes of shallow drilling on it, and then just a limited amount of deeper drilling, which you see in dark blue. Across the portfolio, they spent $12.5 million to date. We're acquiring this for only $7 million. Most of it has happened on the Aarnivalkea area, which is divided into the east and the west side. So if you see that shallow drilling has identified numerous anomalous trends, the west side and the east side. You see the bottom left there, or the right there, is most of the drilling's been on the west, which is what I'll focus on today. The real takeaway is that from that, the drilling that's been done to date, and you see on our projects, the west and the east, what we looked at and what got George Salamis so excited about this project is he looked at what Kittila had back in 1985, what he was given before they started working on the property. And in terms of scale and grade, it's very similar to what ended up being the Kittila Mine, which you see underneath. So it is under till, but what this demonstrates is that there's not a lot of transport in the area. So it's relatively in situ, and there's been a high rate of when you find the pathfinders in the soils to the shallow drilling to mineralization underneath. So I think we're well on our way to having something that could potentially be the next Kittila. So if we look at the western side here, what we're seeing is some large section. If you look at the drilling, 65 meters at 1.5 grams, punctuated by some real high-grade intercepts of 4 meters at 18 grams, 55 meters at 1.5 grams or 1.6 grams per ton, and then 20 meters with 4 grams. So similar to Kittila in that it's a potential bulk tonnage story. Kittila started as an open pit and then went underground. We're seeing the high grade that you want to see. It appears, we haven't done any met work yet, but it appears less refractory than some of the others in the area, which is good. And we've done some preliminary petrography that highlights that free gold as well. So if we're looking at that long section, this is all the drilling that's been done. You see the majority has been in the top 100 meters or so. The drill hole that gave them confidence to go deeper was this FAVD40, where they hit 10 meters at 5 grams near surface. They then went deeper and hit their discovery hole, FAVD62, which had the long section of lower grade and 4 meters at 18 grams. That gave them confidence to do a step out, and we hit that FAVD64, where they hit again. That's about 400 meters out. And then they came back and they finished off with FAVD71 and hit again. Now, they weren't able to follow up on this. COVID hit, they were Australian, so they left the project and the program just shut down. So the good and bad of what's been done, there's been limited drilling. It certainly warrants some follow-up and I'll identify kind of what we're gonna do. But everything that they drilled here and that you see on the screen hit mineralization. So we know we're in a system of some sort here. It's a matter of following it up. There are some high-grade components. The similarities that we're starting to see are that of what they see at Kittila, where there's these plunges of high-grade columns, and we're starting to identify that. We have some clear zones where we're going to follow up on. You see these mineralized zones. They've only drilled down to about 370 meters. Kittila, for instance, is modeling down to 2,000 meters here, so it's open at depth and along strike as well. And we have some very clear targets all the way up that we want to hit on the initial program. So what are we going to do? We've just raised the money. We hope to start drilling in a month or 6 weeks. We're waiting to secure the drill. We will try to better understand the structure of the area. That's one thing that we need to do, and part of that is by relogging the core. But the main focus of the initial campaign will be on targeting the high-grade zones that they didn't follow up on. So we plan to do 6 to 8 deeper holes initially, targeting that higher grade. And then our phase 2 will be on the eastern side, where we'll do some shallow holes and kind of really try to better understand the potential of the anomalous zone that we have there. So it'll be a very focused program, 3 goals in mind. 1, reconfirm the high grade that they had before, better understand the structure, and then also get a sense of how much more drilling would be needed to put together a resource if that's the way we want to go. Of note, Rupert was able to get a resource of 4 million ounces within 2 years of having similar types of discoveries. So that's our main focus. That's what we're most excited about, and we'll get on right out of the gate. We do have 2 joint ventures one with Kinross and one with Rupert. Kinross is spending $9 million to earn a 70%. Rupert spending $5 million to own 70% as well. Both are about a third of the way through their programs. So this is nice for us. This is stuff that we wouldn't be able to work on just due to costs. If they hit, that's obviously a bonus for us. We also have a project called Putin-Pera. It's become important because in the last 4 months, Orion and B2 Gold made a discovery. If you see down the star, they made a discovery less than 1 kilometer from the property. Indications are that mineralization extends onto our Putin-Pera project is there. We may be able to do something creative with that as well. Again, a nice bonus to fulfill the portfolio. We also have a base metal project as well as kind of a secondary feature for us. So I think we're set up for success. We're in an area that is certainly getting a lot of attention globally. I mean, you guys, it's fairly proximate to you, but in Canada, Rupert is a very well-known name. Of course, Agnico and Kinross, both being Canadian companies as well. We're seeing M&A activity in the area. We're seeing discoveries. Money is flowing into the area. I think we've priced this well in our latest financing. It was good to see the success of Moss in Finland in the last month. We will start trading later this week, so stay tuned to that. And maybe the last chance to get some cheaper shares. We like the district of Finland, and they've been nothing but accommodating for us and encouraging to get in there. We're able to get drills. We're able to drill almost all year round. Like I said, most of the drilling has been done in the winter. So I think we've got a good setup for us. It's really the size of the prize, the cost of the test, and the chance of success. That's what we were using to identify different projects, and this ticks all of those boxes. The size of the prize is large. It's next door. The cost of the test is reasonable. There's lots of access there, and the chance of success. We know we're in a system. We know we've hit high grade already. It's now a matter of how big can we make this discovery. So with that, I encourage you to follow us, TSX Venture, symbol OZ. Again, hopefully trading tomorrow or Friday. I'm just waiting to hear.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Right, so this is the second Finnish company, and you're, second company active in Finland, I should say, and you're far up north, but you're north of Rovaniemi, which is the main site. So I'll give you the same question here. It seems like this is going to be a crowded area. People are talking about it and investing in it. Are there any bottlenecks as far as skilled labor, rigs, and any other materials?
Yeah, good question. I mean, bottlenecks. It's a busy area that money's coming in, but the access. I'm just in the process now of securing drills. And I literally talked to them last week and then getting proposals this week, and we're hoping to get on next month, and it hasn't been an issue. Partly because of what's happened in Sweden recently, that some drills have become available. But there's lots of skilled labor in the area, so that hasn't been an issue. In terms of just the concentration of, there are 3 majors there. They generally have tied up their drills for longer periods of time. There really aren't that many juniors operating in the areas. So, so far that hasn't been an issue.
And you mentioned the joint ventures here. Would you dare to elaborate about the end game there? Would you? We hope they have
some success. I mean, it's money that they're spending on our properties.
Okay.
We retain the upside. We're hoping that they hit something, and that's a benefit to everybody. As many juniors, the ultimate goal is to likely to be able to be bought out. We certainly have the capability to build something with the group that I've got backing me in terms of who's on the board and our advisors, if we choose that road as well.
And finally, what do you want us here in the market to be looking for, let's say, next coming 6 months? There will be a lot of news, but if you had to pick one.
Yeah, look for some exploration success. What's nice about this is we've got our drilling permits, and we hope to start drilling here in a month or so. So news coming out by the end of the year. You don't have to wait long. Like I said, we're starting to trade here this week, so it won't be long to see what kind of reaction we get in the market.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.